Hi friends, we are going to discuss an important topic in economics. The topic is balance of payments or BOP in short. Often you might have read about BOP in the newspapers, the balance of payment situation of a country or balance of payment crisis faced by a country and so on. You might have studied about BOP from school books like NCRT, you might have studied from internet also, but many students may not have proper conceptual understanding about what this BOP is exactly about. BOP or balance of payment is nothing but the overall record of all economic transactions a country has with the rest of the world. So any country will have to engage in economic relations with the rest of the world, is it not? So this is inevitable. So a record with all the transactions of a country is called the BOP or the balance of payment. Let's take India for example. The record of all economic transactions India had with the rest of the world for a year. So this record constitutes the BOP. Now, how will a country economically interact with the rest of the world? Within a country, there will be individuals, there will be private companies, there will be governmental companies and governmental organizations. So these players, they will have economic transactions with the individuals, private companies and the government companies in rest of the world, that is with other countries. So this overall record is called BOP. Within BOP, there are two main components, which means two main parts. The first component is called the current account. Sometimes it's also called the revenue account. The second component is called capital account. Now let's see what this current account is. Current account is nothing but the record of the revenue and expenditure of a country. Ideally, this consists of the trade in goods and services. It also consists of income transfers between countries and earnings, okay, between countries, right? So this component is called current account or revenue account. Within this current account or revenue account, once again, there are two subdivisions. One is the visibles. Visibles are nothing but the goods or merchandise that are traded between countries. Okay, that's why it's called visible. So trade items or merchandise are visible in nature, is it not? If an Indian company, let's say Tata company, is exporting cars to other countries, so this is trade in goods. Okay, so this comes under visibles, right? On the other hand, we have invisibles. Invisible comprises of trade in services. It also comprises of income transfers and other earnings. For example, an IT company, Indian IT company is providing service to a company in another country. The company in the other country will pay money to the Indian company. Okay. Now this will come under the invisibles. Okay. Because services, they are invisible only. We can't see a service, is it not? That's why it's called invisible. Next, income transfers. This will also come under invisible. For example, an Indian worker is working in the Gulf region. Let's say he is working in UAE, Saudi Arabia or some other country. Let's say he is working as an engineer or a driver or a mechanic. Now this man, this Indian citizen, will send his income from the Gulf country to India. Now this is a income transfer. Once again, it is invisible. This comes to India. Okay. So these transfers and the services trade, they come under the invisible part of the revenue account. Now the second account, capital account. Capital account consists of the record of transaction with respect to assets and investment. Okay, so this is called capital account. Let's say the Indian government, an Indian governmental company, is investing, let's say $5 billion in a other country, in a oil project, let's say, for example, this is a capital investment, transfer of capital from one country into another country. This will come under capital account. Similarly, the various financial instruments like stocks, bonds, these also will come under the capital account. For example, foreigners, they invest in Indian stock market, okay? This will also come under the capital account. So please remember, current account is nothing but the revenue expenditure part, that is the outgo and income with respect to the revenue. The second part is the capital account. This is nothing but the income and outflow with regard to assets and investment. Okay. Ideally, any country will try to balance the current account and the capital account. Ideally, at least it should be equated to 0, which means both the accounts should balance out each other. Okay. If they don't balance out each other, it leads to a negative in the balance of payment, right? This is problematic for any country. This may lead to a balance of payment crisis. Let me explain with an example. Let's say a country A, in the current account, it is engaging in trade in goods and services. Okay, let's say in goods and services, it is importing 60 rupees. Okay, just an example, it is importing 60 rupees goods and services in a year. On the other hand, it is exporting only 40 rupees in a year. Okay, so this is the current account. 60 rupees it is importing, okay, which means outflow of revenue. 40 rupees exports, which means inflow of revenue. Now, what would be the resultant amount in this account? The resultant amount will be a negative, which means this account is having a deficit. Okay. Now, a deficit is problematic for a country. Now, it has to balance it out. How will it balance it out? It will balance it out using the capital account. Get it? Let's say in the capital account, the same country A, it is getting 60 rupees in a year through investments from other countries. Okay, through FDI, through FPI, that is in the stock market, bond market, and so on. Okay, so 60 rupees it is getting from other countries into the home country. So this is inflow. Okay, on the other hand, this country is actually investing in other countries for 40 rupees, let's say, once again. Now, what do you understand here? In this account, there is a 20 rupees surplus, is it not? 60 rupees it is getting investment, 40 rupees this country is investing outside. So, in the capital account, it is having a 20 rupees surplus. On the other hand, in the current account, it is already having a 20 rupees deficit. Now, this 20 rupees deficit and this 20 rupees surplus will balance out each other. Okay, ultimately the balance of payment will be maintained at 0. So this is what all countries will try to do. If there is a deficit in one account, the country will try to balance it out, neutralize with surplus in the other account. Okay, but a country should try to take the balance of payment to surplus. That will be very good. It will be beneficial for the country. Right? For example, in the overall balance of payment, the net, when it becomes 0, a country should try to go for surplus. Ideally, any country should try to go for surplus mainly in the current account. This is a very important account. That is the trade in goods and services. Okay, so any country, this current account is very, very important. This current account, it actually reflects the productive potential of a country. Okay, you have to produce, you have to export, goods and services. If you export more than you import, this will reflect in the current account of the balance of payment. Any country should try to get a surplus in the current account. Okay, this is very important. Even a country is not able to get more investment in the capital account, definitely it has to get a surplus in the current account. Many countries, they are doing so successfully. Unfortunately, India, almost over the past 13-14 years, it is having a negative in the current account. This is a bad situation. So what you should understand here, for a long time our imports are exceeding the exports of India. This situation is not good. We have to ensure that our exports exceed the imports. So we should take India to this situation, right? Only now, some months ago only, after a long time, we reached the surplus in the current account. But there is nothing to cheer. The reason why we had a surplus in the current account was because of the COVID-19 situation. Due to very less industrial activity, due to recession, the imports came down drastically. That is why the export overtook the import. As a result, there is a surplus in the current account after a long time. But there is nothing to cheer, as I said. Now, when the economy booms back, once again, definitely we are going into deficit only. So, in the long term, India has to develop the productive potential of our economy and increase our export over the import and take the current account to a surplus. So we have to reach this stage. I hope this video is helpful to you all. Thank you.